My name is Marissa, and I am the Senior Educator at the Bald Head Island Conservancy. On today's episode of Conservancy Connections, we are going to be learning all about blue crabs. Blue crabs are an incredibly important species for the culture and economy of North Carolina and many other states in the U.S. I grew up in Maryland, and if you've ever been to Maryland, you know that blue crabs are kind of a big deal. People love to hang out with friends and family at crab boils, and the process of catching crabs and selling them can be very important to local economies. However, the blue crab fishery and the process of catching these animals has had its ups and downs over the years. In North Carolina, the NC Division of Marine Fisheries is the organization that manages fisheries, including blue crabs. Very recently, in 2020, there have been new rules for catching and keeping blue crabs. We're going to talk about those rules and why they are so important, but first, let's talk a little bit about the animal. Blue crabs are a kind of animal known as an arthropod. Arthropods are invertebrates, so they don't have a backbone, and arthropods also have an exoskeleton, a skeleton on the outside of their body. They also have a body with distinct segments and paired legs or appendages. More specifically, blue crabs are crustaceans. Crustaceans include animals like lobsters, shrimp, and crabs. Blue crabs have a pretty awesome scientific name, Callinectes sapidus, which means beautiful, savory swimmer in Greek and Latin. I would say that's a pretty appropriate name because they are beautiful and they are savory and they're good at swimming. Blue crabs are also known as decapods, meaning that they have 10 legs. They have 2 claws in the front, they have 6 walking legs, and in the back they have 2 swimmerettes, which allow them to swim. They also have 2 stalked eyes, 2 antennae, and a mouth on their head. Their shell, like this, is called a carapace. Blue crabs grow through a process called molting. As they grow, they will crawl out of their old shell and they will grow a new shell that will harden around their body. While this process is happening, their body is soft, which makes them more vulnerable to getting eaten by a predator. You can tell males and females apart if you look at something called the apron that's located on the underside of their carapace. Males have a narrow T-shaped apron, while females have a more oval apron. Females also have red-tipped claws, which kind of makes it look like they're wearing nail polish, while males have very vibrant blue claws. Blue crabs are an incredibly important part of the food web. They are known as opportunistic feeders, and they will eat just about anything. This includes fish, worms, and other crustaceans like shrimp. They also eat dead things and can be cannibalistic and eat other blue crabs. If a blue crab is attacked and it loses a leg, it actually has the ability to regrow that leg. It can also let go of its leg to quickly escape a predator. And there are a lot of things that like to eat blue crabs. Things like fish, birds, raccoons, and people. In North Carolina, the blue crab fishery brings in more money than any other fishery in the state. Most crabs are caught using crab pots, which are made out of wire, by luring the crabs into the pot using bait. Once they're in the crab pot, they'll be trapped and they won't be able to escape. But sometimes these crab pots attract other animals as well, such as diamondback terrapins, which are a threatened species. These air-breathing terrapins will crawl into a crab pot to get the bait, and then they will get stuck. Since terrapins need to get to the surface to breathe air, if they're stuck in a crab pot, they actually can sadly drown. When fishing gear catches something that it's not intending to catch, we call this bycatch. Luckily, there is a way to prevent diamondback terrapins from crawling into crab pots. Terrapin excluder devices, or TEDs, help prevent terrapins from getting into crab pots, keeping them safe while still allowing crabs to get in. However, TEDs are not required everywhere yet. So let's get back to how important blue crabs are for the economy. Just because the fishery is so important doesn't mean that it's always been the most healthy. In North Carolina, blue crabs are currently considered as being overfished. That means we are catching crabs too quickly, and their population sizes in estuaries and wetlands are declining. If we don't change how we fish for blue crabs, then their populations might not return to safe and healthy levels. And that means we might not have delicious blue crabs to eat, so it's important that we protect them now for the future. In April 2020, new rules were passed in North Carolina that help to protect our blue crab fishery. These rules will also help to keep other animals like terrapins safe. Some rules have remained from the past, such as the rule that you can only keep blue crabs that are at least 5 inches from carapace tip to carapace tip. This rule applies to mature males and females. You are not allowed to keep immature females, and you are not allowed to keep pregnant or dark sponge crabs in the month of April. This is so that those crabs can continue to spawn and reproduce in a healthy way. Also, there is a limit of only 50 crabs per person per day, and that remains in effect. However, a few new rules were put into place that are effective in May of 2020. Crab pots now must have at least 3 escape rings, which allow immature or undersized crabs to escape from a crab pot. Previously, fishers only needed 2. These rings do help out fishers as well because they're only keeping a maximum number of those larger crabs that they are legally allowed to keep. There were also some geographical areas that had exceptions to the rule of these rings. New rules don't allow any areas to have exceptions for these rules. Terrapin excluder devices are also now required in certain areas of North Carolina in the southeastern part of the state, including Bald Head Island and surrounding areas. The Bald Head Island area became an official Diamondback Terrapin Management Area in April 2020 after the NC Marine Fisheries Commission held a vote. Now, TEDs are required on all crab pots in the Bald Head Island area to prevent terrapins from entering crab pots so that those pots are only catching crabs. These new rules will help the blue crab fishery in North Carolina so that we have crabs for future years, and it will also help to protect other species that might have been getting caught as bycatch. And even if you don't fish, you can still help out our fisheries as well. If you like to eat crabs or other kinds of seafood, one way you can help keep our oceans healthy is by choosing seafood that was caught in a responsible and sustainable way. There are labels on seafood products in grocery stores that you can check to make sure that you are making a good choice for yourself and for the ocean. There's also a really awesome app called the Seafood Watch app that can tell you how to purchase blue crab that was caught in a responsible way. Right now, blue crabs that are caught in crab pots in North Carolina are not listed as a very good option, but hopefully these new rules and regulations that have been put into place will help to change that. Other places like Maryland have those rules and regulations in place, and they are listed as a best option for choosing blue crab. Well, that's all I have for you today about blue crabs. I hope you learned a little bit today and enjoyed hearing about the fascinating life of blue crabs. If you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, or share. We also appreciate any and all financial support. If you are interested and able to give us a donation, please click the link in the description, which will take you to the Bald Head Island Conservancy's donation page. If you do donate, please just make sure to put education in the comment box. I thank you so much for watching and joining today, and I hope you have a great day.